Guys, happy new year. Hope you're all keeping well. So today's video is going to be based on things to know before buying your first reptile. So the first thing I always tell people before purchasing your first reptile is make sure you're doing your full research on the species that you're looking at keeping and finding one that suits you. So making sure that you know the size the animal has the potential to grow to. So it's easy to look at a small baby retic and think, oh, I'd love that, but then realizing that it can get 16, 17 foot plus. Also making sure that you can house the animal as an adult comfortably, and that you can provide all its special requirements and its needs. So in your research stage, it's very important to learn about the temperatures required for the species that you're looking at keeping. So making sure you're hitting the correct basking spot temperatures, the overall ambient temperature of the enclosure, and the humidity levels of that enclosure. It's also very important to know what UVB is needed for that species. So UVB is very important for them animals. So UVB is very important for reptiles as it allows their body to manufacture the vitamin D3 required for proper absorption of calcium from their food. So without the proper UVB for your animal, it can lead to MBD, which is a metabolic bone disease, which is a calcium deficiency in the bone. So because reptiles are a cold-blooded animal, they cannot regulate their own body temperature, so they need the heat for them to move around, digest their food, and even reproduce. So it is very important to know the temperatures your animals need. So knowing the dietary requirements for the animal that you're looking at keeping, making sure that you can source that food through your local pet store or an online store. Some of the smaller feeder insects can be quite hard to get here, so knowing where to source them is very important before even purchasing that reptile. So knowing how long your animal can live for. So in captivity with good care, some species of reptiles can live up to 30 years plus. So it's also very important to know how to safely handle your reptile. So watching other keepers and how they approach handling, if it's a species that tolerates handling. Not every species will tolerate handling. Some of the more delicate species, like some species of chameleon, some species of gecko, do not like to be handled. So they're more of a display animal. Whereas the likes of a bearded dragon or leopard gecko, they can tolerate handling. So learning how to safely handle them is very important. So familiarizing yourself with local vets that have the capacity to deal with exotic animals. Not every vet can cater for exotic animals, so locating a vet that is knowledgeable on the species that you're keeping is also beneficial. So last but not least is speaking with someone who keeps the species or breeds them. If you're lucky enough, you get to meet up with one of these keepers. You can get your hands-on experience with the animal before making that purchase, seeing how they keep them, asking the questions. As I always say, ask as many questions as you can. There's no such thing as a stupid question before purchasing your first reptile. Everyone that I know that keeps reptiles is more than happy to help. So it's a lovely community to be in, and there's always people there to give you a hand. So reach out to other keepers, get their experience, get their opinion on keeping such species, and I'm sure they can point you in the right direction. Also be wary of what information is given online. Online you can get some great information, but there's a lot of misinformation as well and conflicting information, where one website might say, oh, it's safe to do this, where the other one says it's not. So that's where I always going to go back to, check in with someone who actually does keep that species, ask them their opinion on it. So my journey here in the reptile hobby for the past 16 years has been so much fun. It's been very rewarding, and I'm always learning. I absolutely love this hobby, and I'd love to see more people get involved in this hobby. Just bear in mind, do your research, make sure that you can house the animal, always put it first, make sure that you can care for it to the best of your ability so the animal has the best quality of life. This hobby is so much to offer. It's real fun and you're always learning.